Well, it looks like Spider-Man Noir is in front of the cameras and actually being produced because we have a first look at Nicolas Cage in the upcoming series. Let's take a couple minutes to do a full-on Spider-Man Noir update, check out Nicolas Cage in his rather stylish trench coat, and talk a little bit about this rather large and impressive cast for the upcoming Amazon series. Well, we've known for quite a while that Sony was putting together several Spider-Man series, and when we found out Spider-Man Noir was set to come to life over on Amazon, well, fans had a lot of opinions and they got their way. Nicolas Cage was brought on to play the character, and after his performance in Across the Spider-Verse, well, fans are pretty excited seeing him return to the character, but this time in live action. Now, in the past couple of weeks, there has been a ton of casting news, although not very many characters have actually been revealed. We know Nicolas Cage is taking up the lead and is playing a version of Ben Reilly, with Lamar Morris set to play Robbie Robinson. Now, in addition, Brendan Gleeson has been brought on to play the primary villain, and he's joined by a pretty large ensemble, including Jack Houston, Ji-Lun Lee, Whitney Rice, and Amanda Schull. Now, as far as the series goes though, they are currently shooting, and earlier today we actually got a couple of looks at Nicolas Cage in the series. So, let's not beat around the bush and check those out. Now, honestly, these do not reveal a lot, but I do like that he is actually in a trench coat, and it definitely has that noir feel. Now, I think this is a great series, and the pictures definitely fit the noir vibe that the show needs. The character himself should be a good match for Cage. He is a bit of an oddball, but then again, so is this character, and with the majority of fans already getting behind the series, I imagine it will be a big hit. Now, beyond that, very little is known about the whole series. In the comics, the character is Peter Parker of Earth 90214, which is a noir style of New York City. Now, in this particular version of the character, Peter becomes a gang-busting, gun-toting investigative reporter, who then moonlights as a vigilante taking on organized crime and corruption. Obviously, this version of Spider-Man is quite different than the classic comics, but since his introduction by Marvel and then being brought to life in the Spider-Verse series, well, he's become quite popular with fans. Now Marvel is keeping a lot of the cast parts way under wraps, and this does make me wonder who the villains of the series are going to be. In the comics, there is a mob boss called Norman the Goblin Osborn, who runs a gang called the Enforcers, and has multiple classic re-envisioned Spider-Man villains that are actually carnival folk. This includes Kraven, who is a former animal trainer, the Vulture, who is an animalistic cannibal, and the Chameleon, who, as always, is a master of disguise. Now, there has been some other set pictures that could indicate that Silvermane is the main villain. He did appear in a newspaper picture, but that's also unconfirmed. But honestly, a mobster of his caliber would also make for a great villain, and could be sort of a replacement for Norman, even having the same crew. As of right now, it's pretty unclear when we're finally going to get to visit this 1930 version of New York. The show is in early development, and if you look at the production calendar, these guys are likely to be working on the project for the next 2 or 3 months, and will probably require a couple months of post-production, so best case scenario, we could get Spider-Man Noir next summer or next fall. We're going to keep a close eye on the series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really curious on what Nicolas Cage is going to do with this role, because the animated version really connected with fans. He seemed to have a really good time, and the fact that he would come back and do it in live action, I think tells you how much he is excited for the role, but we're going to have to wait and see.